You're watching Dreadfully Drawn live.
Today, I'm going to be talking about my favourite goal in football. The goal was scored on the 8th of December 2004 in the Champions League. Group stages, a must-win game, Steven Gerrard. It has become one of the all-time iconic Champions League goals. It is a goal that I remember so well. I'm not really sure what gave me the hope that maybe Liverpool might win the Champions League that season, because the team wasn't great. They never really had the sort of talent or the credentials to, really win the Champions League that season, which they ended up actually doing. But, when you look back at the team that they had, it wasn't a great team. There was a couple of individuals in there that were obviously brilliant, but it was nowhere near as good as the Chelsea team at that time, or the AC Milan team, the Juventus team. So, yeah, when you look back, you sort of think, was it meant to be that this goal that you can see on screen now, the Steven Gerrard wonder strike, was it meant to be? Quite possibly. So let's get stuck in. Firstly, some background to the goal, because I remember it so well, even though it was like nearly 20 years ago, which is absolutely horrific to think about. But Liverpool basically needed to win by 2 clear goals, and Olympiacos scored, I think it was just ahead of half-time, which meant that Liverpool needed to score at least 3 goals. Cinema Pongolle scored just after half-time. Then Neil Mellor scored in the 80th minute. And it's funny with Liverpool because you always feel like they've got a chance. Even then, when I was a kid watching it, I thought there is still a chance that they could go through, even at 1-0 down. Something mad could happen. I mean, it did. What happened was, and we've all seen the goal. I can't put the video on because of copyright. I can't really put the pictures on because of copyright. But I mean, the strike is just unbelievable. It's one of the great goals, regardless of my sort of love of Liverpool. It is just one of the. It's an unbelievable strike. The knockdown from Neil Mellor. There's so many things around this goal that I love. Firstly, that night football. Can we just talk about that ball? I've talked about it in a previous video, but it is one of the nicest footballs ever made. I can't put into words how much I love that football. The fact that it was used in this game when this goal was scored, for me, is just like, it's the cherry on the cake. It's the cherry on the icing on the cake. Is that the same? Oh, it's so special. Some other aspects of it that I absolutely love. As I said in the previous video, there's something about old advertising boards that just add that extra bit of sweetness to the video or an image. Barclaycard, Champions League, PlayStation 2. The fact that the PlayStation 2 is in the background of I think it's the other angle, so it's behind the goal. Oh, it's just perfect. Like, that is such a great logo. The design of the logo is so good. It's so iconic. It's so fitting of the time. What's the word? Zeitgeist. It's just perfect. Like, I couldn't have asked for a more perfect advertising board to be in the background. The PlayStation 2 advert. There's so many discussions about Steven Gerrard, but the comparisons with Lampard and Scholes and De Bruyne and Keane and Vieira, I'm just not having them. Like, I can understand some of them. I can understand how some players had or have more qualities than others. I get that. But for me, he was the complete all-round footballer. Drop him into any of those teams that I've mentioned, the Manchester United teams, the Chelsea team, the current Man City team, drop him in there and he would be just as good as those players, if not better. Put them into that Liverpool team and they just wouldn't produce what he produced around that time, between like 2003 and 2008, 2009. Like, it just wouldn't happen. Even like in his last season, or the season before, his last in the 13th. No, actually, it was his last season in 2014, 2015. He was the highest goal scorer at like 34 years old, playing like defensive midfielder. Like, he was incredible. I don't think young people, because they've grown up in the sort of Barclays era, the late Barclays era, as it's going around social media at the minute, but they saw the back end of his career, probably like 2010 to 2015. When he wasn't as good as he was in the 5-10 years before that. And obviously the slip happened. He gets so disrespected by, I think professionals give him the appreciation that he deserves, but I don't think the sort of regular fan outside of the Liverpool bubble really gives him the credit he deserves. They always use the sort of Premier League and all this sort of thing. It's just rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish. The Liverpool teams around the time he was playing were bobbins. Like, they would absolutely. I'll caveat that with they had a good manager, and they did have some good players, and they had good players across his tenure at Liverpool, but not consistently. You know, when they had a good player, the rest of the team was never quite up to the same standard. He was a complete player, and he's the one player who has retired that I really do miss, and it upsets me that I'll never watch him play football at a professional level ever again. The kit that Liverpool had at this point is obviously now iconic because of them winning the Champions League, and they won the FA Cup in this kit as well, I think, the year after. It's just a nice kit anyway. Like, I think Reebok made some really nice kits for Liverpool, and I think it's a bit of a, I wouldn't say it's underrated, but they were consistently making good kits. I don't think they really made a bad kit for Liverpool. Even the daft yellow one in this season, it was a bit random and a bit strange looking, but you either loved it or you hated it, and I always loved it. I always thought it was so bizarre that it was nice. I don't think Reebok gets the credit it deserves for kit manufacturing. I think they made some really nice kits, especially around this time, and the Liverpool kits that they made were better, in my opinion, than what Nike have produced in the time that they've been making Liverpool kits. This kit was a really nice shade of red, and I know it's a really weird thing to say, but for me, this was the colour. A minor detail in it is that Steven Gerrard's wearing a wristband, because this was at the point when footballers were wearing charity wristbands. The one he's wearing is the blue Beat Bullion wristband, and I know it because I had it. You got it free from the BBC. The BBC basically gave out wristbands to try and combat bullying, basically. Like, it was an anti-bullying wristband, and he has a blue one on, and I had the same one, but I always preferred the Livestrong one, but he was wearing the blue one and I did have the blue one. It's a little quirk from that time that you don't see as much anymore, because I don't even think they'd be allowed to wear them now. But those little things around football I love, like little quirks like that. I liked it when footballers could wear necklaces and things like that. Like, it was just, I'm not going to say it was better, but it adds to the sort of legacy and adds to the aura of that time. It's a lost art of that time, I would say. Little things like that. It's a perfect goal. The commentary, the Andy Gray commentary. I mean, I don't think I'll ever love a goal as much as I love this goal. I don't think my passion for football is ever going to be what it was then. And as a result of that, I don't think I'm ever going to celebrate and love a goal like I love this goal. Because this was the absolute peak of me loving football. I was Liverpool mad. I loved Steven Gerrard. I wanted Liverpool to win the Champions League, obviously. It was such a happy time in my life. I just don't think I'm ever going to love all the little things that I've mentioned. The football, the wristbands, the boots he's got on. I haven't even gone on to the boots. I haven't even talked about the boots that he's got on, the Adidas Predators. The kit, the atmosphere, the commentary, players that they're up against. You know, Rivaldo scored. Just everything about it I just love. And I'm so passionate about this era of football. And I love talking about this era of football. And I love drawing this era of football, as you can probably tell. I'm going to keep talking about it, because I don't love the current era of football like I love this era. So I'd rather talk about things that I love, and that is that. That is me sharing my love on Steven Gerrard's half volley winner to put Liverpool through to the qualifying rounds of the Champions League, which they would eventually go on and win in dramatic fashion, which saw Steven Gerrard lift the trophy for his boyhood club, Liverpool Football Club. Thank you for watching. Please tell me your favourite goal, whatever it may be. Put it in the comments and I'll maybe draw it and analyse it, talk about it. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. And you can like the video if you want. Please. Thank you. Goodbye.